based on the last 2 maps' performance anyway. But obviously they've had a bit of a break in between now and there's been some time to discuss what's been going wrong, and hopefully they've been able to bring something back under their control. It's time to see if they can do it, or if not, SSG is going to be looking at a 3-0 victory here in the Grand Finals of USN.
Here's the biggest issue I can see with what's been currently going on inside of this match, inside of this best of 3. Team Reciprocity played 2 of the maps out of the 3 that we've played so far yesterday and got pretty close to losing a lot of rounds. So there was a lot of crazy things that Rec pulled out of their pocket because they thought TSM was going to be a little bit more difficult than it turned out being. SSG definitely doing their homework, walking into Bank, and Reciprocity's on defense first. They know what they have to look forward to. It's going to be that high-velocity, roaming game. SSG more than likely going to handle this just like they did Clubhouse.
Once again, Reciprocity, the big key for them in making sure that this is successful is dealing with that drone game. Spacestation Gaming on attack has had every piece of intel they've needed for pretty much every single attacking round, with a couple of exceptions on the last map on Consulate. When it came to Clubhouse, though, they're nearly flawless with execution and having the intel they needed to get the job done. The start this time for Rec is going to go to the basement, as you might expect, on Bank. It's time to see how good their Bank defense is feeling.
Reciprocity bringing back the MM and the Mute Mozzie combo. So hopefully that'll work out for them this time. But no, they're going to immediately move away from it. It's a 6 pick. And of all people to be playing a shield right now, it's going to be Fultz.
Yeah, really. That's a bit odd.
Yeah, it is kind of odd, but I can tell you exactly why they're doing it. They do not want to try and mess around with blue any longer than they have to. They're going to take the mountain because there's no one on the defense to stop him. There's no Legion. They don't even have a smoke, actually. I'm going to eat my own words on that, but they don't have a smoke or anything. They have nitro cells, and that's about it to try and stop Monty from walking down blue. The only way to kill Monty is to get behind him, and when there's a very narrow hallway that's a staircase, you're going to have a lot of trouble.
Yeah. The 6 pick from Rec here has probably already been noticed, either through droning or just the fact that they knew it. They were doing the same thing yesterday by bringing the Warden into play on blue stairs, usually with a vert from the match versus TSM. So we'll see if that's going to be the same thing. I would imagine so. And this is why SSG have more than likely brought the Maestro in order to get down there and push them out.
Very smart 6 pick here from Spacestation. This is something that Canadian's been so good at for so long. What a lot of people praise him for is his ability to adjust things on the fly. Already starting off with Bank with an adjustment for Fultz and that Monty. So blue stairs going to be the priority as we get spawned into the round. Been in for about 20 seconds now, so SSG should be done in the door any time. But they're going to want to drone out the top floor first just to make sure that Reciprocity isn't roaming too deep.
Fultz still committing himself to the drone work right now. Most importantly, as you were mentioning, making sure that the roaming presence from Rec is pretty much non-existent, especially over here by elevators and the lobby roam. And obviously the second floor. They want to be able to move Fultz in here, and they want to be able to move him in relatively quickly. So he has dedicated drone when he is not doing a push.
Oh, sorry about that. My box broke for a second. We got it fixed, though. All right. Apparently my mute key is stuck. But anyways, Bosco and the rest of the gang still working out the drones, and they do have pressure down to EU1. So Reciprocity is effectively locked into place now as SSG can get all of these hatches open. Don't have to worry too much. So here's the counter for what SSG was trying to do. They put a shield here, but as it gets sledged, you're going to have a lot of trouble trying to deal with this one, Lex. You have 2 people with guns, nobody with utility in order to knock Fultz away from his shield, get the shield to get drawn back up, anything of the sort. You have to try and get around him. So he's still playing close. Fultz more than likely is going to try and cut off the angle and have somebody rotate in with him to get this kill, or just continuously ping with the knowledge of where they are. Might dedicate some frag grenades down, and actually you can bounce them off the front of Monty's shield if it's angled correctly. Quite a bit of damage done. Switches over to the pistol, and they hit fireworks out and grants Laxine to Fultz. And no! Vert tries to run back, kill the Monty, but it's to no avail.
Fultz getting aggressive here now. Knew the Warden hadn't looked at him in who knows how long, and he was about to get into another fight. So hey, let's take some shots with the shield down. Works out beautifully. He is relatively low, as you might expect after that fight, so he's going to have to be very careful over these next few seconds. But he still serves a very important purpose here.
Very low HP, but again, not worth a reset. They know that there's an evil eye at the back of the map, so they're going to EMP it. And then Rampy is going to shoot it because the eye is now open to being shot. So Nice little counter there from SSG. They need to put a diffuser down now, though. Worried about the nitro cells as Bosco pre-fires through every crook and cranny inside of that wall. Claims Retro. Nix trades out, though. First nitro cell shot from the air. That's the beauty of land right there, folks. Rampy works it out, and SSG has a plant. A quick trade, actually, as Fox 8 is able to find Bosco. Still 2 remain. To place a drone just so they have some vision onto the actual bomb.
Also serves to be a good little bait here as well. If somebody shoots it going around the corner, he would know that they're out there. He's going to be able to find the Maestro trying to make a wrap through open area and then eventually to his stairs, but he will be here ready to take this fight. He's got hard pings. Nix tries to go for a duck and dive play, but it's not going to work. Rampy catches it, and the same for Fox 8. He'll also be cut off. Space Station claim round number 1.
Fantastic read by SSG to know that they're going to try and hold down blue stairs, bring the Monty, and it pays off in spades. Fantastic round for them. Reciprocity, though, need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe doing too many things the same that they've done in the past. Time to try some on-the-fly things, which is exactly what we expected from Reciprocity. We'll see if they do go back downstairs, and that's what's currently locked in as we get to the reveal phase and into the 6th pick. We're going away and going to the Warden again? No, we're actually not. Very strange one comes out. Nick's going away from the Aldo with 81 bullets and brings some castle barricades.
Ash finally going to make another reappearance here. It's been a while since we've seen her, as we are going to have Fultz being able to jump onto that. She was actually target banned out in the first map, although she did go unbanned in map number 2. Reciprocity once again setting up for another basement defense, taking it close at least when it comes to the timer, but as far as that execute is concerned, nearly flawless from the folks over here on SSG. Important to note, however, that they have traded out the operators. I'm sure you've noticed they don't have the Montaigne coming into the team anymore. Here's that push. The same push they'll more than likely have to make going down those blue stairs. It's going to be quite more difficult.
10 seconds left.
If any of you watched the Reciprocity game yesterday, you'll notice the setup that Reciprocity is going for. This is where they put 2 people instead of small office inside of open area with the hatch open, and then got a bunch of kills onto TSM because they did not drone out the open area because of all that utility dedicated to getting rid of drones. If SSG was able to beat them out and get some drones in early, though, they should be aware of this situation. It's more than likely going to go a very different way. Fun fact, though, for you, Reciprocity picked up a convincing 7-2 win yesterday on Bank, led by Vertical with a 12-3 scoreline on the map. How topical of you, Spencer. Thank you very much.
We've got Bosco setting up his drone potential. He's going to be throwing quite a bit of that over towards Square to start things out. So same overall approach, I believe, going to be coming in here from SSG. And to be fair, quite a bit of control already gained for them, at least when it comes to the upstairs part of the map. Downstairs and the first floor, though, is a different story. So Square control is still going to be some time away, and that same philosophy will apply to areas like the main stairs and even an elevator drop should SSG get desperate enough to try and attempt that.
I like that Reciprocity is still trying to go for risks, especially when they're down 2 maps. This is what make or break you. Breaching Hammer being used. Gun model stays up, but doesn't really work out too. Laxing rotates all the way through the pillars of lobby, finds himself a Fultz. That's the Ash that we will be seeing for relatively the first time since we saw it banned out on Clubhouse. So far, so good between the 2 teams.
The rest of Space Station still committed to the drone work as we've tabbed between a couple of players here now to see that. Thinking Nate is trying his best to hold on to the angle on main stairs. Bosco possibly looking to help him out here. He does have a ping onto the Legion right now, but he's got to be cautious of any presence that might still have been established the inside of the tellers in the archives area, and he was right to be cautious of it as soon as he saw those footsteps. Catches on to Laxing, isolates him out, and gets the trade for the earlier loss of their teammate.
That was such an intelligent use of that utility by Bosco. He keeps the scanner up just to look for footsteps, not to scan, but to know if anyone is inside of the room that he's currently clearing, and it actually pays off for him. Walks over to the secondary shotgun, starts doing some destruction to the server wall, trying to prep for a plant. So plenty of time on the board, and no smoke once again for Reciprocity. So all they have to worry about is nitro cells.
Bosco just a little bit off the mark to try and find the shots against his opponent from the other side of the wall. I believe that's Nix taking the duel against him. Looks like he'll back away after trying to peek out from the door in CCTV itself. Vertical, meanwhile, also has himself a close shave fight. Canadian, though, picks up the next actual frag and gives the man advantage over to Space Station as he eliminates Fox Rampy, in the meanwhile, also still hunting down here. Canadian going for the plant this early. Rampy once again has support set up, but Nyx is going to be there this time to trade it. Rampy, though, however, picks up the counter trade right back at him. Time now the main problem here for SSG. They need to commit themselves to a plant. They've just lost Thinking Nate upstairs as well. It's into a 2v2. They need someone to wrap around. It's another Nitro cell from Vert to shut it down. Rampy, the last one standing, and he can't get it done. Vert with yet another frag. Picks up the last one for Rec, and they trade it. Same as the last two maps, 1-1.
Reciprocity starting to warm up here, and specifically Nyx, I'm pretty excited about that round, so it draws us to a 1-1 here on Bank. Bank, more of a defender-sided map than anything. SSG doing a pretty good job of roam clearing so far, but had a little bit of trouble when it came to keeping a bead on Laxing. Going to the executive CEO site now. No Maverick to really help out the offense, so they're actually only going to be going with one hard destructor here, and they are going to be bringing in a lot of impacts. They can actually have a maximum of 6 right now with Alibi, Castle, and Maestro. So it's going to be a lot of utility that the offense has to worry about. You can't shoot an impact out of the air either because, well, when it hits something, it blows up. So it's basically a extreme split second before you can actually get a beat on it.
Upstairs once again for Rec. Trying to make an attempt at holding on to CEO here. This is where hopefully they can find a little bit of success in something that can maybe give them the lead to work off of here. As this site should allow for them to roam quite healthily. They're going to have the confidence to do so. I would say certainly so. We've got Vertical on the dock. He's going to be messing around near these windows and trying to fight against any players that go for the parking garage or the rappel up onto the big windows. We have other operators here as well that would indicate they are going to try to get a little bit more aggressive on this round, which is good. I think that's the pace we need to see from Reciprocity. Becoming more conservative here does not fit their playstyle. Even though it would help to fix mistakes, I don't think it's what's needed here. A good start once again coming in from Reciprocity. Vert is going to be able to find the pick onto Fultz, eliminating the Zofia before she can even really do anything.
That's a huge pick as well. Fultz leading the pack for SSG. Too early deaths from him are definitely not going to bode well for the roster. Reciprocity overall, though, doing a very good job as we keep on the 5 panel for you guys. You can see where everyone is currently sitting. SSG, though, working their way up from mud tunnels, specifically Rampy. Rotates through kitchen looking for any roamers, and he's definitely worried about this because Reciprocity has actually came out of their shell now on Bank. Oh, they definitely know someone's inside of logistics, though. As the ping hits the side of the wall. Gonna confirm it with a drone. Looks like, oh, and here's the hard ping. He has to jump outside. He's gonna go down through the garage. I don't think anybody's gonna get there in time to actually kill him. It's a run to the edge, and Bosco can't make it.
So, Reciprocity will keep that other player alive. Laxing, oh no, actually, looks like he did get caught. So, never mind on that. Our bad for missing that. Rampy is gonna be able to move in and find the finishing blow. Bring us back down into a 4v4 once again.
SSG just has hitmen everywhere. Just absolutely everywhere.
Bosco had to sit there and like just mind game himself for like 10 straight seconds to whether to shoot that or not.
You thought you got away. That's what Rampy was saying downstairs. No, oh yeah, with the alibi, he's like,
yeah, he's like,
I want to risk it. What if it really was just Foxay standing there staring at him? That'd have been.
I've been waiting for someone to try that, right? With just the default skin on.
The best play I've ever seen with Alibi wasn't even in a Pro League game. It was actually Macy J when he threw one outside to throw off 2 CL, now PL players. Rotated it through coastline and fragged out both of them. It was a crazy play, but we still have plenty of game to be played here. A minute left on the clock for SSG to do something. Diffuser and Canadian's hands. A quick flick from Rampy. He's going to get marked out by the alibi. Oh my. Bosco tacking in as well. Foxay, the man that has to do the job now. It's a 1 versus 4. Jackal's still up as well, so he can track his feet if he can possibly find them. Foxay has to be worried about that, but it's going to be all the way from downtown. Bosco with 2 and SSG with 2 as well.
Rampy must like the Prismas, just shooting him on purpose, it seems like. Yeah, I'll take the pings, let's go, let's fight, come at me. And he picks up a massive spree of kills once again for SSG as they push ahead once more.
Bosco's the guy at the party that has 2 drinks. He's like, all right, let's fight, let's do it. I'm ready, I'm ready.
Let's scrap. We are going to see staff and open area get picked here as well by Rec. I believe we saw them bring this out once yesterday as well. And they're going to throw it at SSG and see if they're ready. Considering the offsites that we saw SSG play on the last map, though, I've got a feeling they're going to be ready for this.
Yeah, the initial roam clear when Reciprocity did pick up their round, it wasn't too hot from SSG. They got caught lacking when Laxing came from EU1, but audio on land is very difficult, especially when people are walking on carpet, because if you guys didn't know and are newer to the game, the surfaces that you walk on matter with how much noise that you produce. When you walk on those carpet rugs inside of lobby, you're actually very quiet. You can actually stand and walk, and you're still pretty quiet, relatively speaking, to walking on wood or concrete or anything else. Wood is actually the loudest material right next to metal. Metal is literally like a siren going off on the map. It's actually pretty crazy.
And then, of course, there's a whole issue of a crowd as well. That certainly complicates things a little bit.
You guys complicate things. And they like it.
Cheer for that.
If you guys want to have a direct effect over the game, anytime someone looks through a wall and sees someone on the other side, just go,
No, don't encourage though.
Hey, do it. What do you mean?
You're like teaching them.
That's the land environment.
You're like telling them how to like increase their land stats.
Hey, that's how you increase the land stats, man. The crowd plays an effect.
Yeah, so it's generally speaking, just because of the fact of loud noises in general, usually make it a little bit harder to hear bassy signals, which is usually like I think the end of the spectrum where the footsteps are coming from. That's why it's going to be a lot harder to hear more subtle sounds. Like obviously they're quieter too. So
yeah. Watch any FPS on LAN and you'll see that everyone from online to on LAN moves so much faster because they don't have to worry about sound cues really. Well, SSG with the drone game, checking every single thing once again. Especially after Reciprocity's roam game the last time. They want to make sure no one's trying to hide their way or stow themselves away for later. SSG has also been doing a pretty dang bang-up job on defense with their roam games that Reciprocity really hasn't been respecting so far, so we'll have to see how they do when they do get over to the offensive side.
1 minute transpired in the round. It's been a pretty quiet one so far here, but Spacestation is looking to kick up the heat a bit here as we've got two players swinging into CO, and Vert was ready for that. He's got himself a Nitro cell ready to rip. That's going to take out Fultz. Once again, man, Fultz almost being targeted here, it seems.
Yeah, poor guy. He's been opening kill 3 times. Bosco, pretty late trade, but Laxing dies. It's a pretty big pick. Laxing has a lot of influence over rounds late into them. Has that clutch gene that we love to watch, but not going to have an effect anymore over this round except for maybe a little bit of information game and stealing a couple more drones with his pests from the Mozzie. Bosco has top control now, though, and plenty of time to get the sledge up here that's being played by Rampy. Some soft destruction going through the floor, but Nyx actually finds Canadian through the hatch for open.
That diffuser still in retrievable range for SSG, so it's not a problem for Thinking Nade to quickly scurry over and regain control of it. In the meanwhile, Thinking Nade is now looking for the trade, but the Maestro is nowhere to be found here. Nyx still looking.
Oh, right on his butt there, but Thinking Nade finally finds Fox. It's going to be down inside of Tellers, and everyone making it very hard for people to hear, aren't they? All right.
What are they doing with the clappers?
You gotta love it. You gotta love the land environment. Thinking Nade with a battle on main stairs. Knows somebody's there. Bosco's worked his way in very close to sight, and oh my, a shot out of nowhere with a very nice flick. But Nyx claims Thinking Nade on main. Well aware of the situation now, as it is down to the 2 versus 2. Bosco grabs a diffuser. Rampy close enough to him to help him out. He's actually going to get shot from behind. It's Retro inside of small office. Bosco has to stick this, though. It's going to be hard ping, so they definitely know that the diffuser's going down. A Nitro sails through the air and gets the kill, but the diffuser's down. A quick cleanup of that, and Reciprocity will tie things up 2-2.
As the plan obviously not mattering much at the end of the day, Rec gets their hold and is going to keep this close at 2-2. Dead heat between the teams right now. Rec, though, certainly needs to make an impact on these next few. As SSG going on to defense here is certainly going to be something that Rec will have to fear. Their attacking side throughout these maps so far has been restrained and almost leashed, you could say, by the way that Spacestation have been playing their own defense.
It's been very lackluster, honestly, especially in the deep realms that they've been attempting to perform. They've only had one that was really, really successful through all of these maps so far. Reciprocity still bringing a relatively close to the chest setup here. A lot of 3 armors with ACOGs, a couple people for intel, and then we have Valkyrie as well. So out onto that intel game just a little bit more. Looking for Foxy to make moves here with that Mozzie. They're going back upstairs, so Try and stave off a little bit of info. We take some more gunfights. Probably hold aggressive inside of janitors. We actually saw them swing on that a couple times yesterday.
The setup will move into that direction. You can see the rest of the team setting up things in a pretty, again, standard way here for Rec when it comes to the reinforcements and utility setup. Operator lineup is pretty similar to what we had the last time as well. You're going to have a lot of intel coming in, especially outside from the Valkyrie. There is an IQ on Fultz, but unfortunately for Fultz, he's usually been the first one to go. So if that unlucky streak continues, the IQ may not stay in play for a very long time. Giving that extra utility weight, you still have the Evil Eyes in play here as well from Nyx, who's constantly been a thorn in the side of Reciprocity, especially when it comes to just losing 1 to 2 players in the mid-run. He's been great at finding those sneaky picks. And then you still have the roaming presence from players like Foxay. That's going to be problems as well. Foxay probably one of the more standout ones for me in terms of actual impact here on the roam.
So, Reciprocity, kind of extended hold here. We have Laxing all the way downstairs, lying in wait for anyone to pressure Mud Tunnel. Doesn't seem like he's going to get much, though. As SSG has other ideas, they're going to be all the way outside, as you guys can see at the center of your screen. That's Fultz working the IQ, trying to play a little bit more patient, because over the last 2 rounds, he's been killed pretty early on, but he's getting a lot of this utility from Reciprocity broken up early into the round. That's definitely going to have an effect.
Yeah, just hunting down those Valkyrie cameras as quickly as he possibly can gives this team a little bit more room to breathe. They're going to be grouping up here, it seems, relatively soon, and starting to make some actual effort to push in. Once again, just using that first minute for intel gathering mostly. That's the safe way that Space Station has been playing not only this map, but the others as well, leading up to this point in the series here. Bosco also hunting to see if he might be able to catch anyone towards those elevators. There's definitely people who could take the bait on it if they want to. But doesn't catch anything on that first peek there from Maestro. Oh, however, Nyx will get caught retreating as Rampy's going to be able to find the first kill there.
Yeah, Nyx trying to make moves happen on Banana, gets a little bit too aggressive towards the red staircase, and Rampy punishes him for it. Gonna double check E2 with a frag grenade to make sure no one's holding the tight angle for him. Works out in the end. And he works his way up. Oh, and a shot! He cleans it up though. Foxay on the immediate trade. The refrag works out, but not really in their favor. Rampy making some magic happen. Already has 2. Retro, a little bit of damage dealt to him as well. SSG, still plenty of operators in order to get a diffuser down. They just need a touch more pressure on site, so everyone's currently waiting inside of ATMs.
Sub 1 minute here now. Space Station making great progress, though. I'm sure they're not worried about the timer at all. Laxing, being caught running out. You still have a few other players from Rec that are ready to make more aggressive plays here. Retro in this position might be expected, although kneeling on the ground, I'm not entirely sure about that one. In the meantime, Fox still yet to see where he's going to make his move here, if he'll make one at all. And no, Retro caught immediately on the ground there on the inside of the connector hallway. Everything falls to Foxay in a 1v4 situation. This is not going to be easy. Space Station seems to already have his number as well. They've got him locked to the inside of Janitor. He's got a couple pings coming his way. The second he fires that super shotty, though, they're going to know where he's at. Oh, and wow, he won't even get a chance to shoot it. Thinking Nade wraps in from the opening in the site and finishes off the round. SSG now with 3.
Thinking Nade and the rest of the SSG squad, and as you said, had his number. They knew exactly where he was playing at, just had to play it a little bit smarter while they were holding both of his exits. The only way for him to really work out of that was maybe nitro cell the wall and try and get some kills, but again, a very low percent that actually works out in his favor. So SSG forcing it to a split on defensive rounds for Reciprocity. They cannot take the lead here. They can only tie it up. Their last defense will be all the way downstairs in Locker CCTV. Let's see if they go for the 6 pick once again for the Warden.
More than likely, yes. That's been a quintessential part of the strategy, but with the Montaigne possibilities now still in play now with the 6 pick.
I'm telling you, this Monty was premeditated. It was premeditated just for Reciprocity and that Warden play that they do there. They don't have a smoke again, but they do have Foxay on Legion, so this might be just a little bit of a change up in the lineup to have an effect against that shield. But there is one issue that lies with trying to counter a shield with Legion. Those are actually electrical utility. So EMPs directly counter them. You drop one EMP, you destroy all the goo mines, and Fultz still walks his merry way into blue.
Very true. We do not have an IQ, notably, so not going to be able to spell them out through that method and just basically have the IQ stick with it. As, well, most importantly, Fultz was the one playing IQ, so can't necessarily have that arrangement happen. Someone else would have to take over the role, and it doesn't seem they're able to do that at this time, or they don't feel the need that they need to use it. For Reciprocity, though, not only do they not have the Warren, they also don't have the Jaeger that was traditionally played by Vertical when they would hold on to that staircase, so I don't think there's going to be an active hold on those steps at all in this round. Spacestation also might be aware of this too, though. They've got a pretty good idea. Rampy's just going directly for tunnel access, as Fultz has already walked right down through those same tunnels into server and cleared out the very same stairs.
All right, well, the fastest best of 5 that we've ever had was 6-2, 6-2, 6-2 at the Paris Major, where Evil Geniuses lost to G2. It was last year at our mid-season major, where Raleigh was this year. So definitely can't beat that, but this one's still going pretty quickly if SSG can start linking rounds together again. Nix, though, has something to say about that. Quickly dispatches Rampy. Diffuser still in Canadians' hands. They have all the destruction that they needed to get onto site. Bolt's still on the shield as well, so he can help out. Has to worry about a lot of utility, though. If Laxing's rocking the Nitro Cell, we can have a maximum of 3 here.
It's interesting that Spacestation felt that they could push this without clearing out the upper players, and that's going to cause some serious issues for them now if they don't go back. As you can see, Bosco is trying to deal with this now, but the problem is they've already committed themselves to an execute. So all the Reciprocity players need to do, they don't even necessarily need to get kills, they just need to stay alive. Canadian, though, with a good change up here. He's going to be able to find Foxsave first. This opens up the room for a push a little bit more, and he's going to have to start bringing those roamers that are still upstairs back under control. I've touted Spacestation so many times the way they've been approaching these rounds. Usually they still come out on top, so I might need to start doing it. One of the Nitro Cells is going to get picked. They'll clip off multiple players trying to push in and pull off the retake early as well. Wreck now at a man disadvantage and down to 2. Laxing and Vert going to have to pull off the 2v3. One tries to wrap on them from blue stairs. It does not work. That's Laxing. He'll get caught off in the player Canadian holding behind server. Nitro Cell goes down. Won't catch anything except some damage onto Canadian. Vertical trying to be so quiet as he creeps up here and attempts the retake. He's already lost half of his time and he does not have a clean way in. If he drops, there's 2 players waiting for him. If he goes down the stairs, there's 2 players waiting for him. He's got to rotate somewhere else and make an attempt at this. And no, won't even make it. He's done. He's given it up. Space Station get round number 4.
Frustration spread across Vertical's face as Fultz has let him know. Put him in the bag! Put him in the bag, birthday boy! Fantastic showing by SSG so far. Such domination when it comes down to it. So very impressive. Timeout by Reciprocity to add on to that little bit of late game rotation there by Vert to lay down inside of Archives, and they want to talk about this one with hopes because right now it could not get any more dire going into this split. SSG winning 4 offensive rounds on Bank. This is very, very similar to how things were laid out when it came to Clubhouse. Overall, though, the defense from Reciprocity wasn't too bad. I think that the main thing is that SSG made so much happen with so little. You were referencing earlier, Blue, about their map pressure. Immediately come up through Mud Tunnel, take over server control, as well as work their way down Blue. Well, actually, that's what came first. Work their way into Blue, quick takeover of that with the shield, set up Bosco on flank watch. He eventually gets dealt with, but not before they already have a plant put down. So all they do is rotate the Blue. The hatch is already sealed. They don't have to worry about that until somebody pops it with a secondary shotgun because they didn't put any reinforcements on it. And after that, all they had to do was worry about the people upstairs, because when it came down to it, the only man that could make anything happen really was Vert. He was the only one with a Nitro Cell left, and when you come down to those 2v3 situations and Monty is still alive, you have to have some sort of utility to deal with him. You can't try and, box him around a corner or try and get in behind him. The safest way to handle it is a Nitro Cell or something along those lines. Otherwise, Monty, inside of those 1v1 situations, an extremely difficult operator to handle.
All right, guys, the unpause has come in. We're going back into the game now. And once again, for the 3rd map in a row, SSG has managed to pull off a 4-2 opening half. And now they get to switch over to the defense to play the second half. They're in even better shape than they were on the last map. Reciprocity, once again, we have to ask the same thing if there's ever going to be anything from them. We have to see it now. And even then, they've got to pull off a complete reverse sweep. Not only will they need to win this map, but they need to win the next 2 in a row. So we are asking for a lot right now from Reciprocity, and Space Station, in the meanwhile, is just having themselves a leisurely day, taking yet another massive advantage at the beginning of a half.
10 seconds to go.
All right, well, SSG starting their defense off downstairs. Not a bad setup at all either. Going to be using barbed wire around the police car inside of garage to make sure that no one can rush downstairs, or excuse me, down into the parking garage. Fun fact, Canadian now has 8 plants in this series, a record for most ever in a LAN best of 5. So Canadian showing up when it matters, folks. That's a big, big deal, especially with the minimal amount of maps that we've played. That's a lot of objective priority from SSG. I mean, just for comparison, Timsy had 6 plants through 2 separate series, had 6 plants throughout the entire LAN. This man has 8 in 1 best of 5. That is so many plants, and that definitely represents how much Reciprocity has not been respecting site.
Well, we do have Nyx moving in relatively quickly to sweep through the first floor and just clear things out over here towards Archives. They had pre-droned it, so he's not risking his life in the process of this. They will have already known that that was clear. Takes square control in the process, deals with the default. He did get spotted for a split second beforehand, though, as you can tell from the light on the camera. That means someone's looking at it. So that that Blue Stars player right on the other side of the doorway is definitely aware of the fact that he is here. Laxing, on the other hand, along with some of the others, not so much the case, but this is a pretty common push point, so they'll still be knowledgeable. And it's not like Bosco would go for a push here anyway. He's here to hold. He's not here to farm frags necessarily.
Well, Reciprocity still biding their time to get into blue. It seems like they might be going for something a little bit different. Retro's already expended both of his exothermic charges on the hatches, so we might be seeing a very, very reminiscent thing of what happened yesterday with the hatch drop. That was pretty crazy. Bosco's already going to shift his sights. He's using the FO12, this shotgun. Oh, this shotgun. So good inside of those close ranges. Very fast semi-auto is used by Ella. Scorpion, not really a fan favorite anymore since it does have pretty crazy recoil pattern.
It's got the iron sights on it.
Oh, what?
What is this?
I didn't even know this angle existed.
Yeah, that's crazy from Laxing.
This is why I love watching pro players play. This is just stuff that you can just bring back, use yourself, and then all of a sudden some guy's going to be messaging you in all chat about how you suck at this game or you're sweaty. And yeah, and there you go. It works out. He holds the cross angle, makes sure that Foltz can't peek, and Bosco trying to go for a Hail Mary with a pistol doesn't work out, and all of a sudden Reciprocity has all of the pressure at the bottom of main stairs. Retro adds on, Rampy trying to clean things up, make things tidy, but it's not working out. It's a quick prone key from Reciprocity as Retro stays alive and starts putting the diffuser down. Canadian Rampy have to make some magic happen. Bullets fly through, but none are going to hit the toes of Retro. They know where Rampy is. He's in a 1 versus 5, and he finally gets dispatched on a flawless round from Reciprocity that, again, looked like they didn't have much, but they made the most of it.
Interesting attempt at a round there from the folks over on SSG and what they tried to do with it, specifically with the Ella play. Is probably one of the more questionable ones I would have to give over to Spacestation on this one, like the peek with the pistol, things like that. I understand why Spacestation is trying these things. I've got a pretty confident lead at this point, so they can afford to play around a tad, but let's quickly bring that back under their control. And I think that they're going to realize that quickly here, too, as we move into the second attempt for them.
Well, relatively the same setup for the defense, going back downstairs and more than likely just talking about, hey, they might try some weird stuff. They might try to go for some hatch drops or get aggressive towards main. Might want to dedicate a little bit more utility or a little bit more drone work towards that. I think that really the main issue that they had was that Bosco just sold himself out with a pistol inside of garage.
Yeah. He tried to go for a swing peek there.
I mean, he is Bosco, but
like I said, like they've been getting away with a lot here. I think especially in this map, they've got a lot of confidence going. So I think that was the round where they took it just a tad too far. Now we've got to see them reel it back a bit.
Yeah, bring it back to center. It's a best of 5, guys, and you might win this 3-0. I think that's a way to make a statement inside of who's the best team in North America.
Certainly so. Got Bosco actually looking like never mind, maybe they didn't learn anything else in here. Obviously they're not spawned yet, but Bosco looking to try and peek once again with that pistol. And we'll see if he tries to do the same thing again when the actual spawns come in, which I doubt, but we'll see.
He's not afraid. Just not afraid to use this pistol up against an assault rifle. Okay, well, seems like Reciprocity might be going for the same thing. Laxing's not going to be there, though, so it's just Vert looking down to garage, make sure no one runs out for a spawn kill. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it usually catches you off guard. So just wants to make sure that he's checking all of his boxes. Start getting some pressure inside of ATMs. Drones already clearing through. Reciprocity's done quite a good job at getting map control early on inside of their offensive rounds so far, and they're trying to make it happen twice.
Laxing just peppering the windows a little bit there to try and see if he's able to give himself some holes to work with later on should someone try to play aggressively against him. Meanwhile, Nick's making that same run as last time. He'll take quick square control now that he has droned out through tellers and seen that it's clear once more. And he'll be joining up, I believe, with one more of his teammates who should be moving in here relatively soon. Default cam gone once again. So literally just redoing the playbook right now from the last round at this point.
And here's the issue. This is what made it so easy for SSG to get in. They had a shield. You can just walk cleanly in there. And honestly, one of the counters they could have used could be Ella, but again, the EMPs exist of Thatcher. Offense is bringing that, so they could just EMP the Grismont mine that's sitting at the top of the door. But that's not going to be in the cards for them. Reciprocity seems like they're doing the same thing. Bosco's opening up quite a bit of soft destruction to break the door as well. Does he hear the ash? He does, and he's going to put another Grismont mine at the bottom of the staircase. So, Space Station ready this time around. I don't think Reciprocity is going to have the exact same element of surprise.
Most importantly, Space Station also not overplaying their hand when it comes to the aggro here. However, that could change. We've got Laxing who's going to move in just a second. Canadian did realize that pressure was going to be coming soon, though, and he was able to back away. Laxing will have a free walk-in, I believe, and so should the Blue Stairs players.
It was all a cruel ploy for SSG to gain their confidence, as Reciprocity is sitting on both ends of the map right now, or both ends of the site, ripping open the server wall. Nyx is going to pour stuns through to burn any ADSs as he throws those very, very deep. So more than likely going to try and get some air jabs and what have you to stop any rotations that could possibly thwart this plant.
Bosco's been waiting here for so long for an opportunity to pick up a kill from those main stairs. Is he going to get it, though? And we can see as well, obviously, Pulse has seen the full breadth of the team pushing in from the gold bars vault here. And obviously, they'll be pushing from CCTV itself, trying their best to get in there, but it seems the site defenders are doing a good job of holding out. Space Station not faltering. Diffuser getting dropped for a second there as well. Is someone else maybe making an attempt at it here? As Diffuser goes into the hands of Laxing now. The rest of the team, they're ready to move in, but they just don't have the capability to. SSG still has most of the utility. All Nitro cells should still be in their arsenal. And here we go. Here comes the shutdown. 2 kills go into their favor. Now 3, 4, and 5 should be just around the corner. They did lose Rampy at one point, but thinking they're just going to jump right out. And there we go. Space Station maintains the lead, maintains the +2 round advantage, and gets that much closer to the USN title.
I like what Reciprocity was trying to do there by throwing off SSG, moving all their forces towards main stairs for that bait when they blew the hatch, but that wasn't the main game plan. They go to server, they get the wall open, but Canadian did a great job of segmenting where he wanted people. Keep Bosco on the main stairs with that EV shotgun. The thing is crazy. You don't have to worry about him too much, especially when he's got the support of that Grismont mine as well when someone peeks. Keep everybody else up on servers, use that utility to deny as long as possible, and then just for good measure, why don't we throw the Afro in there to claim that last kill.
6th pick coming in, only going to be used, it seems, by SSG this time. Hey, how you guys doing out there? As he goes over towards a vigil.
Oh, look at you. Got a packed house here, Blue.
Yeah, we do.
How are we feeling about the comeback for Reciprocity, guys? Is it happening? Apparently not. Everyone's quiet. You guys are all SSG fans now, huh? That's... Ooh.
It's people bandwagon, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that always happens at LAN. They're like, yeah, Reciprocity! And then SSG starts taking over and they're like, yay, SSG. I wasn't wrong the whole time, I promise.
All right, guys, well, we are upstairs now. That Clash pick did stay in, so this will be the first time we see Clash get brought out, at least in this match.
5 seconds remaining.
Probably one of the first times in the tournament we've seen her, too. I have not seen her picked all that much,
5
so...
seconds left.
Clash is a very creative operator, actually. She's an op that slows you down to almost a halt. It's a very, very slow movement when you are being electrified by her CCE shield. She has a secondary SMG or pistol, depending on what you want to bring. Also, strangely enough, she has impacts, if I'm remembering that correctly off the top of my head. They recently adjusted what operators have impacts, so there's always a couple random ones that I completely forget about because you just never see them unless you're playing comp, really. Clash is going to be one of those operators. Clash in particular, very good at staving off offenses from super aggressive takes. And speaking of super aggressive takes, Nyx is going to aggressively rip the head off of Bosco.
Is the dock, so was more than likely from a window duel, or possibly one from Square here as well. Let's see where we got that kill at.
Is that a front office?
Yes, that was a window duel, I believe.
Yeah. He just caught him on that side angle, so Bosco apparently not too ready for Nyx to be holding that angle. A very impressive shot with a 1x as well.
So
He's the real Ash main. He's got to use the R4C, you know?
So Reciprocity definitely getting themselves off to a good start here by finding the dock early on. Bosco unable to disengage from that battle and then re-stim up for later. Just happy with the little bit of damage he may have done. Not only does he not get the kill, but he does 0 damage to anybody on wreck in the process of that as well. Complete failure, unfortunately, for Bosco, but the other 4 are still up. We've already seen Spacestation turn around. However, opening kills have also been pretty pivotal to the team that ends up winning the round. Some of the stats from some of the previous maps. Fox8 going to move in here. One of his air jabs goes onto the ground. Thinking Nate is actually just going to chuck a quick impact up that should have gotten it based on the positioning I saw, but it's also going to be reapplied a second later. So Thinking Nate is now trapped once again.
That's fine for Thinking Nate, expending secondary utility for primary utility. Not nearly as many arrow jabs on the field anymore. They all know that you cannot move through that door. So they're going to have to try and take things into their own hands by holding down E2, which is where Clash is currently sitting. Rest of SSG biding their time because Reciprocity really hasn't done too much. Lax and Retro need to get this wall open. Some pressure's coming in from the Sophia, but Fultz is going to make his presence known. Thinking Nate pre-firing low, but right over the head of Fox, who's currently inside of stock.
Canadian waiting for an opportunity to pick up one for himself here. Fultz instead going to be the next to pick one up as he gets his second on the round by finding Nyx. Looking for another here too and nearly getting it. Just a little bit off the angle to being able to find the player pushing out from the main hall and square. It looks like it is going to be their Thermite, but it's not going to matter. Rec are still losing players. Thinking Nade finally able to get his action started here, and Fultz with a third as he takes down Retro. Spacestation now on tournament point as they are one more round away from being the 2019 USN champions.
This SSG roster looks so dominant, guys. This has been a hill to die on for so very long for a lot of Space Station fans. Thinking Nate has been searching for a LAN victory ever since I can remember. Canadian hasn't won a LAN since, I believe, year 1, season 3. It's been such a very long journey for all of them. And to top it all off, the icing on the cake, it's Fultz's birthday. What else could you want for your birthday? A LAN win is what he wants. Give him the green, give him the money, and give him the championship.
You know, he's going to have a good time tonight if they win this round.
If he is of age, I will find him every drink I possibly can.
Yeah, that's the only detail we don't know about that yet.
If he is of drinking age, I will find him every drink I possibly can. This man deserves it. Fultz has been putting the entire team on his back and showing just what a young gunner can do. Rampy, though, has definitely been showing up as well.
Rampy, Canadian as well, and at least one of the maps has had himself a fantastic time. It's been a lights-out performance this entire tournament, really, from Space Station. Good stuff from Rec as well, especially looking at the last 2 days. They have looked on fire. It seems that SSG just had their number so far, at least in this series, and has been able to shut them down, especially on the attack, so efficiently.
Well, rolling into our effectively last round, if SSG can win it out. Extended roam here for them, and there is just everyone everywhere. Fultz is inside of E2. We still have the clash being played by Canadian. SSG, very unique setup.
Activating camera.
SSG now waiting for the Rec push to come in. We've got 2 to 3 players looking like they're going to move over into garage, and I believe there'll be some pressure onto the small office behind lobby as well. That gives you hallway access if you take down that soft wall. Nyx is going to start moving forward as once again he's often gone off on his own on that Ash. He'll move up and move in to try and get a little bit of map control from the basement first.
All right, so just for all of you Liquipedia-ers out there, if I can use that, the last time Canadian won anything at all was all the way back at the first season of the OGA Pit, where they beat out Rogue 3-2 in a best of 5. It has been since July 25th of 2018 since Canadian has won anything.
It's been over a year. Time to see if he can finally fix that. Down a player though in this round, so it may not be happening just yet, but once again, Space Station had that same problem in the last round, and they were still able to turn it around and pick up the W to put them at 6. Seeing them do that one more time in the tournament goes to them. Bosco with some great play potential here from the inside of the site if he wants to get aggro. He's going to try and hold this angle. He's got to be careful though, still making a little bit of noise in the process. Rec has a great amount of control over towards the lobby, but it's not perfect. You still have the Clash giving them intel onto everyone's position that's out in the open here, which to be fair isn't many. It's really only 2 players, one peeking for the ATM doorway, one peeking for the small office. Oh, nicely done though. The air jab to knock out Canadian and take him, or excuse me, no, the Ella to knock him out and send him flying. It's going to open up a real opportunity here for Rec to keep themselves in this.
Concussion air jab mix by Vert knocks Canadian clean down the red stairs, and bet you guys haven't seen a kill like that in a while, because that was truly incredible. But Spacestation needs to make a stand inside of sight now. Not very much time on the board as Fultz starts us off. He takes Foxe. Can he get another? He can't, but it's a trade down to the 2 versus 3. These do still have pressure on sight and plenty of rotations made. They also have the cubicle broken so that Bosco can see through into the breach. Drones roll through for Retro now. Still plenty of time. They mark out the Valkyrie. This is probably going to be an immediate gunfight. Bosco's going to stay in the same area. Thinking Nate has to provide assistance. They need to get this diffuser down as fast as possible, and they want another entry kill to do so. Continuing to dance outside of the breach. Already have all of their drones used up here. As you see stun grenades pour in, Laxing with a double kill. It's all into Thinking Nade. He's been in these situations before, and he can sometimes make magic happen, but it's not gonna be now. Reciprocity staves off an SSG victory.
Reciprocity holding on. That's only the first though. Still a few more to go before they trigger the OT and start the possibility for this reverse sweep. Coming very close though. Round number 11 is what we're going to wind up towards here. Reciprocity, let's see the picks from them, along with where Spacestation's going to take this. Taking a bit of a risk there and having to play into tellers after the 2-1 sites, so now they're going to start to unlock, hopefully, some of their better ones. They'll be able to go into the basement for this upcoming round.
So we got confirmation, guys. Fultz is only 19 years old today. And this man's first year of playing competitive, he's going to more than likely win a LAN. That's so very impressive.
Some crazy stuff. To be certain now.
So apple juice tonight. That's
yeah,
what
apple juice.
Yes,
yeah.
apple juice.
Have a moderately good time tonight.
We'll just add some extra sugar. It'd be great. You'll have a good time.
All right, guys, time to see once again if Rec can hold on once more. They've been doing good in the early round. Last 2 rounds, they've had the opening pick. Usually have been able to follow that up, but it comes down to that site take. They were only successful for the first time on the attack on just this last round. Now they really need to bring it back here.
Gonna make a party for Fultz with a fruit by the foot, and a couple of juice boxes, some juicy juice, some good stuff, you know. Some Mountain Dew amp energy. It'll be great. It'll be great. Don't worry about it. Anyways, SSG, still quite a big task in front of them. Shifting a couple things up to bring in the Ella back as they go downstairs. So you're definitely going to see Bosco playing on blue stairs unless Reciprocity goes for that weird take that they did the last time where they dropped inside of the elevator hatch as well as the lobby.
Foxe along with a few of the others spawning in the backside. Majority of the team split up actually right now as they did a 3-2 spawn split with 2 going for front control to 3, I believe, going into the backside here. Foxe just quickly droning out the open areas here to allow for Laxing to take quick control. You're also going to see Vertical start moving in towards the ATM's door over these next few moments as well. Not a whole lot of outer sight presence from SSG, as you can tell from the silhouettes right now. They're going to focus pretty much entirely on the site hold itself, with at most 1 player extended out right now.
Reciprocity is bringing the Dokkaebi on Nyx, so well aware that SSG could roam. It's definitely going to help them out with those logic bombs. Vibrating those phones, making a couple of sound cues for them, but there's nobody home currently on the 2nd and 3rd floor for SSG. All they have to do is worry about the basement. Bert takes control of E1, going to get rid of the camera. Overall, a pretty clean take for Reciprocity, but they do have one thing still to deal with, Blue, and that's going to be blue stairs.
And not necessarily a whole lot of time to deal with it either. Already down to 1 minute and 45 here. Going to quickly try and burn out the ADS as the best of their ability. Elamine goes in. First flash against Bosco, but he completely dodges it. EMP in, and that'll deal with the mines along with the ADS, and the nade from Nyx finishes off Bosco, sends him flying back down the stairs.
And that's what you got to worry about there. Those EMPs timed correctly can cause so much damage, allowing frag grenades to pour in, and those things can be very fatal, as you guys just saw. Bosco not having the ability to sprint away in time. Reciprocity now, though, are faced with the task of getting the wall open and have to get a diffuser down. Still plenty of time on the board to do such a thing. They just need to move a couple of people near. Foxay as well as Vert still upstairs inside of E1. They have some pressure as Laxing is just tapping away towards Red Hallway.
The drone vent's still going to give them plenty of room to work with. One of those Nomad charges does go a tad too far and into the vision points of Rex. So, or excuse me, into the vision points of SSG, so they will be able to spot that and take it out. And more than likely, Rex doesn't necessarily notice this just yet. So that could be dangerous in a late round situation if they haven't accounted for it. First phone call out now to spot down the position of some of these defenders that are still alive and well. Nitro Cell's getting primed and ready to go as well. They know Rex moving in soon. Foxay with an X hit here catches Fultz in the garage. That'll be a pinch that these defenders will have to deal with too. Laxing's going to keep it going. Thinking Nade is able to put down Foxay though as he tries to push the garage. There's still more players trying to go for main stairs control. Rampy thought one was at the bottom, but no, that's a mistake. Vertical and Nyx will clean up those last 2 kills. Reciprocity, they're still in this.
I don't think that Nyx needs a chair. The man is standing more often than not. It's actually awesome. I love seeing the amount of energy that we have between these two teams and everyone getting hyped for those plays. Reciprocity staying alive here on Bank. Need one more round to push this to overtime. SSG headed back downstairs. Feel like they have some leftover business there. And actually, there was a lot of things that just went wrong for them overall. Bosco actually sprinted towards the wall instead of flicking immediately towards the bottom of the stairs to quickly sprint down and got fragged out. But even if he did that, he's more than likely still going to die. Just playing a little bit too close to the door when he heard that EMP roll. That was a very large issue. Still going to have Nyx on the Dokkaebi. It seemed to help them out just a little bit with this roam clear. Got him towards site a little bit faster. We'll see if it works out the same way. Eventually, though, SSG just fell apart on site. They still had the tools and the means to be able to shut down Reciprocity from putting a plant down, but I really feel like the hot mark onto Foxay just readied him for that gunfight, because right when Maestro peaked, it was an immediate death sentence.
Setup should remain pretty much the same here for Spacestation, as they're looking to patch up mid-round issues, not necessarily core issues that have shown up with their hold in that previous round here. I'm curious to see if they maybe try to get a little bit more aggressive. I would almost want to say that they gave too much room over to Rex in order to execute there. That, along with the relatively quick nature that Bosco's hold over here on the top middle, well, not anymore, but Bosco's hold there on the Ella in the blue stairs was dealt with. That also seems to have been a problem as to why Reciprocity was able to finally close out on that round.
Okay, well, it's do or die time now for Reciprocity. They're one round away from keeping SSG in this and not letting them walk away with trophies. We're practically free at this point. 3-0 and a best of 5 is not something that you want on your record. Next, the rest of the squad, quickly drone out. Don't want to use any of those logic bombs early. That's something that we see used with Dokkaebi quite often. Set up some pre-plays, launch a logic bomb, get on your drone, see if there's any phones ringing. If there are, you know somebody's close. If they're not, then you know certain areas of the map are clear. They do already have control of open area, though. That's one check for the boxes of what they need in order to get onto site. Every single floor clear so far.
Nyx grouping up with the rest of the team that is already in position here towards Square to try and start pushing out. Bosco holding just behind this door in the reinforcement.
He is so ready to swing. So ready to swing. The only person with grenades is Nyx, though. He swings out, quick shot, puts a Grismop mine, but this is more than likely all going to get EMP'd pretty quickly on. And yep, as you hear it hit the wall, that will get rid of the Grismop mine as well as the ADS. So they have to abandon ship on blue, but no, Bosco once more. Frag grenade pours in, the Grismop mine is actually still up in the corner as it goes off. Stun grenade goes off as well, but he's gonna get droned out. They know that he's still here. He quickly fires with a swing, very tight knit. He goes for it, but no, Nyx bags him. Bosco just getting a little too aggro on the blue stairs.
An intricate mind game right there that Bosco is trying to play with himself. Does he commit himself or does he fall back? Laxing nearly catching one as well on a 2-hatch angle here, as he's able to bring Fultz down to just a measly little 25 HP. This is once again a great primer for Reciprocity to try and close out this round and send us to OT for the first time in this final. Retro pops open the back hatch first here on the wall. Give them access and allow him to span through a little bit here to start harassing the players that are going to be holding out behind the plant area.
been relatively the same spot as they were last time. Pulse just has a little bit less HP. They're gonna have to worry about the hatch drop. Vertical's already moved his way over towards main stairs. Foxay will join him. Toxic Babe's going to stave them off, so it's Retro and Nyx's job to try and make some magic happen. Still missing one man, though, on where his location currently is for the roster, so it's more than likely going to be Laxing still all the way upstairs trying to cut off rotations. They're rushing in deep to try and get this plant down. EMP pours in, but an air jab is going to knock a man through a soft wall. Vert claims the first kill. Nitro cell, though. Oh, no, it's all down to Canadian all of a sudden. They pick the diffuser back up, get a plant down, and Reciprocity forces the overtime.
Reciprocity with just so much pressure on these basement attacks, making use of main stairs and the server push at the same time. Normally this is only a very one-dimensional push happening from just the server side, and maybe a little bit of presence coming in from the hatches, but we're seeing it from all different departments here on Rec, and SSG just did not know how to formulate themselves to deal with it.
So far between these two, it's been an impressive bout on Bank. Reciprocity bringing it back from the absolute depths. We thought they were sinking, but it is still very live and well.
The other thing here too is, look, they're going basement again for a third time now.
Third time's a charm. What?
These have been...
What a silly question.
In my opinion, it's been very one-sided for Rex, so now that we're in OT and everything's unlocked again...
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's literally just been Reciprocity, like, oh, you want to do that again? Cool. Smack. Like,
let's do the same thing a third time.
It's like SpongeBob when he's running to the rock. Want to see me run to that rock? So you want to see me do it again? Like,
guess we might in just a minute here. SSG now taking it to the max. They need 2 more rounds at this point. Same for Reciprocity, as these teams are now in a dead heat. Remember, most importantly though, if you have just joined us in the last few minutes, it is SSG that is currently leading in the series 2-0. All they need is just this map, and the tournament is theirs.
We're gonna have to get confirmation on this, but since it's the best of 5, we might actually have infinite overtime on the maps. I'll get that confirmed just to make sure here in just a second. Is either gonna be that? Oh. Okay, so we just got it confirmed, thank you to production. So it is infinite overtime, but only on the last map. So it's not there just yet. Reciprocity would have to force this to the 5th map in order for that to be a thing. So it's the first team that gets 2 rounds here will take the map.
So just the standard OT that you've been seeing throughout the rest of the tournament here, folks. Laxing first in as he's going to take quick open area. Once more, just no real roaming presence upstairs or in the first floor here at all from SSG. They do not want to take that risk. It's been the same for the last 2 rounds. They've got a lot of utility that gives them info just from within the site, and they're perfectly fine to use that. Bosco also going for a 3rd try at this Ella's stairs hold.
I think this is what Reciprocity needed, honestly, to bring them back into the game, is make it to where there is no other option but win. And it seems like since then, everything's been cool, calm, and collected on their side. You don't see anyone getting mad at anybody, no head shakes, nothing. Just dialed in, ready for some good siege. Looks like they're going to try and deal with blue the same way, EMP the side, throw a frag grenade down, and maybe peek with it this time because Bosco's smartened up about how he wants to handle the situation as you see him at the bottom of blue.
Nyx waiting to see if Bosco should get aggressive here, and Vert once again getting this drone to the inside, sneaking it in and getting some great intel. This is how they've been able to pull off such a successful push. Is once more, this has been a change-up. Spacestation in the past has been doing a great job usually of dealing with the drone presence and knocking it out. It doesn't seem as though that's necessarily the case anymore, and that Rec is getting away with quite a few preset drones that's giving them the intel to be able to push into areas like the main stairs.
Laxing's going to be holding this far off angle once again. This is through 2 hatches. Very creative, one that we don't see too often, but it works very well for when people rotate from Red Hallway or the office and try and get the door angle for CCTV. Explosive goes off. That's going to be an exothermic charge from Retro. It's either going to be on the server wall or the hatch.
Thinking Nate still trying to find an avenue that he can work with, and Foxay as well, droning things out downstairs, making sure that that is clear and setting them up for the push again. At the moment, though, Nyx is the only one in there, but the rest of the team is going to be joining him soon, with Retro and a few of the others starting to work their way down. As far as the setup is concerned, though, again, very similar to what we've had in previous rounds. Heavy emphasis on stopping the push to the inside, with Rampy playing to the inside, actually, of CCTV, which is, this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because they've also had to relocate 2 other players to the main stairs to fend off that hole. Phone call in, Rampy jumps up, though, Eddie drops the diffuser. He's trying to go for a jump up into the corner, but I don't think he can do it. A nade's going to be thrown his way. Will knock out half of his HP, but he's still going to be able to hold. Faults with the next one as well. They did lose Bosco in the process of this, though, and now Laxing with the next, but Rampy's still holding on, thinking nade with the next. It's all on Nyx in a 1v3 situation here to try to bring this back, but no, Rampy's play, his gambit on the inside of the site, saves Space Station and puts them up 1-0 in OT.
It's a huge gamble, Blue, and it pays off for Rampy, sitting in an area that's regularly considered no man's land for this site. But somebody had to risk it for the biscuit, and it was definitely the Ramp Dog himself. Well, overtime match point now, folks. SSG had such a good offensive side on this map, and they're back in the saddle again. If they win this round, they will be crowned the USN champions. Lycan wants to calm some nerves before going into this for this last-ditch effort before they have to rotate back to the defensive side.
It's going to be the call of the timeout from SSG. We can see in the game, folks, we can still fill in on some of the info that's going on right now. It does look like Reciprocity is going to be trying to go for a basement defense for this upcoming round. So once again, we're going to be thrown back into that site for a fourth time, obviously with the very large exception that, hey, the teams have flipped now. And it's going to be Reciprocity on the defense.
Overall, this bank game has definitely been a spectacle to behold, and this is honestly, I feel, what a lot of people were expecting from this entire series. Reciprocity throwing a few wrenches into the works of SSG that's made this map a whole hell of a lot harder for them. First two maps, though, Reciprocity seemed to be asleep at the wheel as there really wasn't much to gain from their play, but they're awake and ready now. They just need to try and get off of bank.
And on to our fourth map of the series here. Potentially allow them to come back in and pull off this reverse sweep if it weren't a possibility. Unpause has come in, folks, so we are going back in game now as the 14th round of map number 3 of the USN 2019 Grand Finals continues. Let's go crazy with the hoodie in the back.
Hey, sometimes you gotta let them know. So guys, how are we feeling about SSG? Are they taking this one? Oh, okay. Do we still have any Reciprocity fans? A single one. Oh, that guy.
I think we got one.
We got one Reciprocity fan. I like that guy. I like what you got. Not moving his thoughts away from the original team. That's a good thing. Stick to your guns in these moments. So Reciprocity back on defense now, and they're feeling the same way that SSG did. Let's go downstairs. Let's try and bunker up and see if we can make anything happen. Laxing not going to be on that Warden on blue stairs that he's kind of known for at this point. Gonna stay on the Mozzie. Looks like they will be going for that extended roam that actually worked out pretty well for them the last time.
Bit of a different flavor, I think, overall for the defense on Rex. Seems like it is going to be a little bit more free-flowing with the possibility for players to be out in the open and taking fights early on. When you look at Laxing, Vert, Nyx, even Foxay's possibility. Also the smoke, which wasn't there for Space Station to delay in the late round.
Well, if you're going to go down blue, you might as well go down swinging, right? That's what they say.
Certainly true.
If I'm gonna get beat up, I'm at least gonna get a couple shots in. That's how you gotta be about things.
Trying to take their playstyle, which you have to respect at this point, and so far, it's working. Foxay, just outside of the small office, moves in for a pick on Bosco, taking him out. He has left that hatch soft as well, so if he wants to go for a rotate, he has that option.
Another goo mine going down for the Legion of Foxay. Rest of SSG trying to take things slow and methodical, which we've grown to notice throughout this entire series, that even in these moments, they still want to take their time. They want to check all the boxes. They don't want to try and go for gunfights that they don't have info on. It's been working out so well for them, but Reciprocity is now trying to shake things up. This run game is a hell of a lot more aggro than what we've seen from them throughout the day. Rampy checking out one of his teammates' screens to see what he sees on his drone, trying to get a bead on where an enemy could be. Can't find one. Concussions pour in, so they know someone's inside of elevator now, and Fultz is just going to hold the angle until he's got some assistance. Rampy makes a hole into the small office of open area. We're only halfway through this round right now, folks, and everyone is engaged with somebody.
Minute and 20 seconds remaining. Like you said, a little over halfway through it. Fultz waiting for the E1 peek, and he finally gets it. Where's the kill, though? He's not able to trace down Laxing finally after 3 separate peeks. Gets the headshot that he was so desperately searching for, and evens us back out into a 4v4.
Only a minute remains. Drone work still coming in for SSG. They don't have Bosco anymore. That's the Jackal, so they can't track any footsteps, so it's all going to have to be manned drones. The site is all the way downstairs. They want to try and get a plant down inside of CCTV, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening anytime soon. This is more than likely going to be the lead avenue rather than the objective avenue. What I mean by that is a lot of people are about to die. So as they rotate their way towards blue, it's going to be fully clear and the hatch will be soft. Rampy quickly discards that wooden piece, gets rid of a goon mine, makes his way down with a drone leading the way. They also have soft walls downstairs as well, since Reciprocity opted for the roam instead.
Time again becoming an issue now for Space Station. 20 seconds left to make this push work, and they've somehow got to kill 4 players in the process of this. Smoke grenades also just now getting used. Someone's going to have to do something crazy here. They're blocked off from planting, thinking Nade's going to catch Nyx running in to try and stop the first defuse. Then, oh, the nitro cell goes, or gas grenade actually goes a little bit too far. So the plant's going to go off without a hitch. They're going to try and go for more here. Space Station with a 3v1 advantage, and that's going to do it! Thinking Nade shuts it down on Retro with the final kill, and Space Station Gaming are your 2019 U.S. Nationals champions!
Space Station Gaming, what an amazing show from them. Lycan, a very proud coach. Such an impressive showing, folks. Tip of the cap to Canadian and the rest of the squad. And once again, could you not be happier for Fultz? Happy 19th birthday, man. You won a LAN with your team after such a long grind. What a fantastic game of Bank.
Some amazing individual performances coming out in that matchup from SSG. Players like Fultz doing great work. You have Rampy as well coming out in the clutch. The entire team playing honestly lights out, and at least one max this entire tournament. Beautiful stuff from SSG. A great run through the bracket for Reciprocity on the other hand. Commiserations of such a promising first 2 days, but here on day number 3, SSG seemed to have so much information against them and was able to utilize that so successfully in every single round, it seemed.
Every single person inside of NA had been on the Space Station train for so very long, and they have finally been gifted a LAN win. Congratulations to Space Station Gaming once again. An incredible run through USN, especially after just a week ago combating inside of Croatia.
Reciprocity, on the other hand, still will take our 2nd place along with the Western Conference Championship title. So they will not be going home empty-handed either. But there can only be one winner here, and we are going down to the stage now with Jackie to crown those winners.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our champions a round of applause. You want to know what's the best part? I'm about to ask him all these questions, and he goes, hey, can we wish happy birthday to Fultz really quick?
Fultzy Poo.
Fultzy Poo. I apologize. Happy birthday, Fultzy Poo. Okay, but SSG's first championship, 2nd place curse, kind of broken here. How do you feel?
Yeah, feels good. I mean, I don't believe in curses really. I mean, all the 2nd places that I got previously, like it was just the other team like played better, had more composure, that kind of stuff. Just mistakes were made, and on this team we're really disciplined. We don't make those mistakes. We don't lose composure, and I don't know. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that these guys brought me on the team and trust me, and yeah.
Lots of experiences to bring you to this point, right? Bosco, you'd like to say something? We're going off the rails here. Bosco, sure, what's up?
Well, first, I just wanted to say a huge shout out to Luke, our new analyst. He really put in a lot of work, and he deserves a round of applause.
Get on out here. Get on out here.
And lastly, just for yesterday, for that standing ovation from myself and Lycan, I just want to say thank you again. It really means a lot to us. So thank you.
You guys are so loved. Well, do you want to be in the hot seat now? You want me to ask you the rest of the questions? No, he's like, no, Canadian. Okay, so last question for you guys. I just want to know, do you have anything to say to your fans?
I mean, yeah, thank you for all the support. There is some of you that have been, at least with me, through thick and thin. I've lost some ridiculous finals. You guys have given me all the love in the world. Some people, not so much, but you guys make up for it. Thank you for all the support you give our team. We literally couldn't do this without you guys. We live this dream lifestyle where we sit at home and play video games all day, and it's amazing, and it is literally not possible without you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the passion.
We are so proud of you. One final cheer for our new Team USA. Grab your trophies, guys.
For USN 2019. Congratulations to them, well deserved, a clean sweep.